Hi everyone, I am Jocelyn. Glad to see you. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often surrounded by misconceptions and silence: self-harm. Now, I know this isn't an easy subject to talk about, but that's exactly why we need to discuss it. Self-harm affects people from all walks of life, regardless of gender, age, or background. If you or someone you care about is going through this, remember, you're not alone, and there are ways to move through it. Let's take a closer look at why self-harm happens and the steps we can take toward healing and support. Let's start with the question many people wonder: why does self-harm happen? It might surprise you, but self-harm is rarely about attention or wanting to die. It's often about coping. For some, it's a way to deal with overwhelming emotions like sadness, anger, or anxiety. Others might use it to break through numbness, to feel something when they're feeling disconnected from the world around them. This is a behavior that can touch anyone. Self-harm isn't limited by age, gender, or racial background. It's a response to internal struggles, not a reflection of who a person is. So, if this resonates with you, or if someone you know is struggling, understand that this is about finding a way to handle emotions that feel unmanageable. And that doesn't make anyone weak. It means they're human. There's a lot of stigma around self-harm, and it can make people feel alone, misunderstood, and even ashamed. But remember, self-harm is a sign of distress, not weakness. It's often an attempt to cope with feelings that don't seem to have another outlet. The truth is, everyone deserves understanding and support, not judgment. If you're supporting someone who self-harms, the best thing you can do is listen without judgment. Ask them how they're feeling, let them know you're there, and resist the urge to criticize or question why. Sometimes, just knowing someone cares and wants to understand can be an incredible source of strength. Now, what can we do to start moving away from self-harm? One of the biggest steps is learning new ways to cope with intense emotions. Therapy can be a great place to start. Talking to a professional who understands self-harm can provide tools and strategies to manage those hard feelings in a healthier way. A therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, can help identify and reframe the patterns that often lead to self-harm. It's a journey, and it takes time, but each step forward is a step toward feeling better. Healing doesn't happen alone. If you're dealing with self-harm, or if you know someone who is, reaching out to someone you trust can be one of the most powerful things you can do. Whether it's a counselor, a support group, or even a friend who listens, letting someone in can make a difference. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. You don't have to face this alone. There's strength in reaching out. Thank you for spending this time with me today to learn more about self-harm and the paths toward healing. Let's keep these conversations going, because the more we understand, the more we can support each other. And if this video resonates with you, please share it, because maybe, just maybe, it could help someone else, too. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, there's always hope, and there's always help.